So I'm going to talk about kind of some case studies of what the Endangered Species Act has done for organisms. So I mentioned before in 1962 when Rachel Carson released her book about Silent Spring that it was a pesticide that was affecting bird species and killing a lot of birds. Well, that pesticide was called DDT. DDT is short for some chemical name. And this pesticide was used everywhere. You used it in your homes, used it in your yards. It would be sprayed from trucks. You would use it in like the spray for your body. We used it everywhere because it was so effective. And as far as we know, it had zero effects on humans. Cool, right? God's sent us the cure to mosquito bites. Well, wrong. At least for humans, we're fine. There's still DDT and people who lived back in that time, but as far as we know, not doing anything. What DDT does though is it bioaccumulates, meaning that once it's inside your body, it doesn't go anywhere. So as you get older, that DDT is building up in your body and it's not going anywhere. You're not peeing it out, you're not pooping it out, you're not sweating it out. It stays stuck in your body. So this is bio because we're talking about life and life forms, and it's accumulating. So here you are as a baby fish and you're getting more, and as you get older, you're getting more, and as you're older, you're getting more. So our oldest organisms have the most amount of this DDT in it. Now, because bioaccumulation is happening, another phenomenon is also happening, and it's called biomagnification. This is looking at the food chain level, but it works the same way. This DDT, when it enters a body, it doesn't really go anywhere. It's not peed, it's not pooped, it's not anything. So if I am a seal eating fish, well, as I just showed you, the fish have this DDT in it. Well, the seal eats the fish, and it's eating all the DDT in those fish, and now the seal has DDT. And the seal keeps eating fish and eating fish and eating fish and getting more DDT and more DDT. And eventually the seal has a bunch of DDT. And then, this polar bear is eating a seal, and it's getting the DDT of the seal. But it's eating a lot of seals, and so it's getting a lot of DDT. Now, I do want to say these pictures are just pictures. That although it's wow, almost all this fish is DDT, it's not like that. It's still very low levels. It's not like you eat one and you automatically die of DDT poisoning. It's not that at all. The problem is that as a seal, you're eating hundreds and hundreds of fish, and as a polar bear, you're eating maybe dozens of seals and accumulating all of that DDT, and it just gets higher and higher as you go up the food chain. So over time, you accumulate the DDT. Up the food chain, DDT is magnifying. So be sure that you can recognize the difference between bioaccumulation and biomagnification. So this is happening with DDT. What would happen is DDT gets sprayed into the atmosphere and it enters the water supply at a really, really, really low amount, at 0.000003 ppm. ppm stands for parts per million. This is saying of 1 million water drops, or really 1 million molecules, one of them would be 1 part per million. This is 0.00003 parts of 1 million molecules is DDT, so not that much. But you have these zooplankton, they're swimming around, they're absorbing the water, and they're absorbing that DDT. And it's accumulating in their tissues because they don't pee it out. And then fish are eating that zooplankton, and it's going up to 0.5 part per million. And large fish are eating small fish, and it goes up to 2 parts per million. And then, and this is kind of the key that we'll focus on, fish eating birds, organisms at the top of the food chain. They are eating these fish. They are eating lots of fish, and they're getting lots of DDT. You may think, oh, it's 25 parts per million other parts. That's not a lot. And you're right, it's not a lot. This little amount actually had devastating consequences to these fish-eating birds. So 3 different species. The brown pelican, if you've been to the beach on the East Coast, as well as the West Coast, you've probably seen them. Bald eagles, and this is the peregrine falcon. So I'll spell peregrine for you. These 3 birds, all fish-eating birds, all 3 of these birds were on the endangered species list, listed as endangered. Their populations were decimated because of all the DDT they were exposed to. DDT caused eggshell thinning, so they would lay eggs, but the eggs weren't as hard as they used to be. Birds, when they are incubating their eggs and keeping their eggs warm, they sit on them, and what would happen is they would sit on them and the eggs would crush. So the eggs crush, they don't have offspring. So they couldn't reproduce. Reproduction was so low, so there weren't more pelicans being born. There weren't more bald eagles. There weren't more peregrine falcons being born. And this is what Rachel Carson noticed, is that, DDT is kind of a problem. It's causing a lot of problems in birds. Now, it was causing problems for a lot of bird species, but these 3 were probably hit the worst. But all 3 of these species have been delisted. The government realized that DDT was so bad and was having an effect, and they banned the use of DDT. And lo and behold, soon after the ban of DDT, all of the reproduction of these 3 birds and of other birds started to increase. And they started increasing so much that we were able to delist all 3 of these species. Another species that has been delisted is the American alligator. Today, there are 5 million American alligators. Now, this may not make you happy. You may think, I would rather that not be the case. Here in Maryland, it doesn't really matter. But they were being endangered, one for fear, but mainly for alligator skin. And by both CITES and the Endangered Species Act, killing alligators for their skins and selling, alligator skin that wasn't heavily regulated, with all of that being banned, it helped them to recover. Another example of a recovered species is the Oregon chub. This was the first fish that was ever removed from the endangered species list, and hopefully not the last. There used to be only 1,000 individuals, but now we have over 160,000. So a huge increase, and so they got delisted. Now you may think, okay, here we have 160,000 and 5 million. Oregon chub comes nowhere close to the alligator. How could they be delisted? They don't get delisted based on a certain number. It's more of a comparison of what did they used to be. How many alligators were there? How many Oregon chubs were there? We may not know, but we can take some estimates based on how much they declined. With the Oregon chub, they're actually only found in one river in Oregon, so that river probably couldn't support 5 million American alligators even if it wanted to. The American alligator is found all over the South. Loves Florida, but is also found in the Carolinas, found in Georgia, found everywhere along the coast in the southeastern United States. So it's not really about the number. We're not trying to say, oh, you hit 1 million, all right, you're delisted. It's more of a comparison to where they are previously and where are they now. So species protection in the United States and really around the world is kind of new. Really wasn't a wake-up call until the passenger pigeon went extinct. CITES came out soon after that, after the Migratory Treaty Act. CITES came out that protected species worldwide and specifically protected them from trade, trying to prevent one country taking advantage of the species found in another country. And it's incredibly helped species around the world. In the United States, our individual protection rests in the Endangered Species Act, which has protected so many species from endangerment or from extinction by listing them as endangered or threatened. And we've even seen the recovery of some species back to their original population levels. So all we have to do is just maintain our different species protections around the world to at least avoid the overexploitation of these organisms.